Hey everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Alpha, the Sprint-2-Value mini-series where we dive into strategies that drive significant growth and returns. In this mini-series, we examine how organizations accelerate their growth, efficiencies, and strategic clarity. This series is built around the 14-chapter guide from Cohen. This tactical field manual provides a step-by-step approach for how private equity firms accelerate performance from day one of an acquisition. However, this isn't solely for deal makers. Whether you're in the mid-market operations, leading enterprise initiatives, or scaling a startup, these chapters unpack levers that anyone can pull to unlock value. Each episode, we offer one chapter, one core idea, and practical takeaways, all tied back to technology, execution, and what matters on the ground. In today's competitive landscape, the era of relying solely on intuition or limited data in private equity is rapidly fading. Modern analytics have emerged not merely as a reporting function, but as a crucial strategic tool for driving value creation across the enterprise investment lifecycle. This chapter highlights that analytics are no longer a luxury, but a necessity for private equity firms to succeed. The time when firms could operate with limited data has passed, and analytics are now a competitive tool for making wise decisions and creating value throughout a portfolio's company lifecycle. The data within these companies is described as the treasure trove of potential value creation. Before we dive into what moves the needle on analytics and key considerations, let's just level set on analytic maturity. So as analytic maturity increases from descriptive to prescriptive, both the value derived from the analytics and the difficulty in implementing them tends to rise. The progression moves from merely understanding the past or the hindsight to gaining deeper understanding the insight, and eventually to anticipating and shaping the future foresight. The provided image illustrated on our LinkedIn newsletter article or on Instagram and X is the analytic maturity. So on the y-axis, you have value, and on the x-axis, you have difficulty. From bottom left to top right, it moves from descriptive to diagnostic to predictive to prescriptive. And as I mentioned, the maturity curve progresses through sort of four key stages. From a descriptive analytics or hindsights, you're answering the question, what happened? The focus, it involves summarizing and organizing historical data to provide a clear view of past performance. Examples could be sales reports showing last quarter's revenue, a dashboard tracking website visits over the past years, or a report on monthly employee attrition rates. A diagnostic analytics dives deeper into the root cause. So it answers the question, why did it happen? So the focus, it goes beyond simple reporting to find the root cause behind trends or outcomes identified in descriptive analytics. It's also known as root cause analysis. Examples can be analyzing a drop in sales to discover that it was caused by a specific product going out of stock, or investigating the rise in customer churn to find a recent change in customer service policy that was the culprit. Now, as you continue up the curve, you get into predictive analytics or foresights. So you're answering the question, what is likely to happen? The focus is stages use historical data, statistical modeling, and machine learning to forecast future outcomes. Examples, forecasting next quarter's sales revenue, predicting which customers are at risk of churning, or detecting fraud by analyzing network behavior in real times. Now, when you're really cooking with fire, if you will, or cooking with gas, it doesn't matter, is prescriptive analytics or optimizing the future. So you're answering the question, how can we make it happen, or what should we do? The focus is the highest level of maturity. Prescriptive analytics uses forecasting to recommend specific actions to achieve the best possible outcomes. Examples, a navigation app recommending the fastest route based on real-time traffic data, or a system suggesting what marketing campaigns to run to maximize ROI. So at this point in the chapter, we invite you to head to the LinkedIn newsletter and download the full Sprint-to-Value ebook and read the selected chapter. Alternatively, if you prefer to listen along, you can find the complete audio edition of this mini series on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And we're going to hand over the mic to Digital Jessica AI to read the chapter in its entirety. So let's get into it.
Unlocking Alpha, the Sprint-2-Value miniseries, Chapter-03, Analytics. Unlocking Alpha, the Sprint-2-Value miniseries, Chapter-03, Analytics. Welcome to Unlocking Alpha, the Sprint-2-Value miniseries, where we dive into strategies that drive significant growth and returns. In this micro-series, we explore how organizations sprint toward growth, efficiency, and strategic clarity. The private equity ownership horizon is short, and the goal is clear. Create value for the firm, the portfolio company, and investors. Finding the fastest and most reliable route to value creation is key. While a value creation plan should always consider the entire life cycle of an investment, we've found that the best results can often be obtained by focusing on the distinct parts of that greater whole. Implementing a series of value creation sprints that result in more immediate top-line, bottom line, and operational impacts. Sprinting to value creation offers a practical, results-oriented approach to improving portfolio company performance. This guide contains insights shared by experienced, accomplished professionals from across our private equity value creation team, representing the various facets of our approach to accelerating growth. We hope they are a valuable resource for identifying and acting on the most important elements of the value creation process. Feel free to reach out to us for more details or for help getting started. Whether pre-transaction, mid-transaction, immediately post-close, or at any other point in the investment lifecycle, we're ready to offer guidance and assistance in building first-class value creation plans and implementing the strategies needed to succeed. Now let's get into it. Chapter 3, Analytics, Mine Data for Decision-Making Gold. Across every corner of business, analytics have reshaped the landscape. The era when private equity PE firms could win without deep data collection and analysis is long gone. Today, analytics are essential to value creation, not optional. Firms now sit on a gold mine of untapped data across their portfolio companies' value chains. Used strategically, this data becomes the competitive edge that powers smart decisions and drives performance at every stage of the portfolio lifecycle. Where analytics create value. Early-stage data builds the case for intelligent action. Gut instinct isn't enough. Bad data, or no data, leads to bad bets. Analytics reduce risk and simplify complexity through better decision-making frameworks. Mid-hold period. PE firms and their portfolio companies must meet a range of reporting and operational demands. From investors, regulators, and internal stakeholders, analytics ensure the right data is accessible, auditable, and actionable. Exit stage, track the right metrics from the start and demonstrate a data-to-action capability. It builds a stronger exit narrative and supports better valuation conversations with potential buyers. Why PE has lagged on analytics and what to do about it. Despite the promise, many PE firms hesitate to embrace analytics. Here's why. And how to overcome it. Hurdle 1. High upfront costs and fast-moving tech cycles. Solution? Don't go it alone. Use external experts, data engineers, architects, and integrators in a build-operate-transfer model to fast-track capability and minimize sunk costs. Hurdle 2. Hard to see immediate ROI. Solution? Take an agile, iterative approach. Focus on use cases that offer quick wins, better pricing decisions, faster inventory turns, improved sales productivity. Hurdle 3. Cultural resistance from portfolio leadership. Solution. Start early. During diligence, assess willingness to adopt a data culture. Involve leaders and frontline operators in shaping and celebrating analytics success. The goal is to embed analytics into the ethos, not bolt it on. Embedding analytics for real results. Analytics isn't a project. It's a business discipline. Here's a 4-step playbook to build analytic muscle in portfolio companies. 1. Tie strategy to the P&L or balance sheet. Generate hypotheses around core business decisions. Embed analytics across all levels of the organization. 2. Build the right foundation. Assemble a cross-functional team with business and technical talent. Create a single source of truth and adopt strong data governance practices. Make the system trustworthy and transparent from day one. 3. Solve high-impact problems. First, prioritize meaningful, measurable problems, from pricing to operations. Introduce both descriptive and predictive analytics gradually to build momentum. 4. Drive analytics into daily decisions. Push insights to where decisions get made, not just to the C-suite. Train and empower managers and line employees to act on the data. Analytics, the underutilized superpower. Analytics can and should drive every element of the value creation journey, from optimizing supply chains to refining pricing, targeting customers, and improving sustainability. Yet too often it's underused, underestimated, or implemented too late. Firms that unlock its potential stand to create more consistent, measurable, and scalable value. Bottom line, PE firms that prioritize analytics, early, deeply, and culturally, won't just get better answers. They'll create better companies. Don't wait to make it core. Now back to you, Reed.
I hope you enjoyed hearing the chapter with Digital Jessica AI. If you couldn't tell, she's got a good AI voice, and continuing to enjoy working with her. She doesn't really push back when we want to work early or late. That's a bad AI joke. But let's talk about kind of the key takeaways from the analytical imperative. So the insightful analytic points to several fundamental truths about integrating robust analytics with private equity operations and the portfolio companies. So holistic value creation. Analytics hold the power to generating significant value at every stage of a portfolio company's journey. From the initial due diligence to eventual exit, this isn't a one-off task, but a continuous progress of informed decision making. Multifaceted benefits. The advantage of a strong analytical capabilities are diverse. They include a substantial reduction in investment risk through data-driven decisions made at early stages, ensuring compliance and meeting reporting obligations with real-time data throughout the hold period, and crucially demonstrating data transforming operations to attract premium buyers during the exit phase. Now, you got to have a structured implementation. Building an efficient analytical capability is a systematic endeavor. The article suggests a clear four-step process. So it's meticulously aligning the analytic strategies with tangible financial outcomes, establishing robust data technology foundations, prioritizing outcomes, and high-impact business problems that deeply embedded analytics into the organization's day-to-day decision-making process. An overlooked powerhouse, despite its profound potential on value creation, analytics is often identified as the most overlooked and underdeveloped tool. Within private equity, value creation toolkits are critical, and this is a critical component to making data-driven decisions. So let's talk about sort of the strategic consideration points for stakeholders. So for private equity firms, embracing early and broad adoption. To maximize impacts, private equity firms should prioritize the early and broad integration of analytics across the entire investment lifecycle. This proactive approach ensures that data-driven insights influence decisions from the moment investments through the divestment. Mitigate risks proactively. Analytics serves as a powerful instrument for risk reduction. By making data-driven decisions during the initial stage of the investment, firms can identify and address potential pitfalls before they escalate. Enhance exit attractiveness. Leveraging analytics to demonstrate truly data-transformed operations can significantly enhance a portfolio company's appeal to prospective buyers. No one wants a house with uncertainty when they buy it. This gives you a little more insight to what's going on or what could be going on. A transparent data-backed operation narrative becomes a compelling selling point for future buyers. And strategic cost management. To navigate the upfront investment often associated with developing robust analytic capabilities, private equity firms can consider building build, operate, transfer model, partnering with external experts to establish systems and processes that can be iterated. Some private equity groups we see will do this where they'll basically build what I call an intelligent or insights platform. So I typically see sort of a data layer, sort of an ETL tool, and then a reporting layer. Now, all three of those things can change. It doesn't matter like the tools you use. And so I'm intentionally not sharing what tools that I like or what I've seen, but the fact that you kind of have that three-pronged layer. Once you get that sort of technology set up, then you're making hypothesis-driven analysis to look at what you can change or what levers should you be changing in the business to enhance operation efficiencies, sales, customer service, et cetera, et cetera. Now, for enterprise class customers, there are sort of four things that I like to have conversations with when I'm talking with my customers. So the first is to address cultural resistance head on. Implementing new analytical approaches often encounters cultural resistance. This can be effectively mitigated by involving stakeholders at all organizational levels early in the process, fostering buy-in and ownership, aligning with financial outcomes. So similar to a private equity model, but I think it's much more rooted into how does this move the stock price or the value of the business? It's paramount that in analytical strategies within the portfolio companies, are directly aligned. But for bigger businesses, you need to understand, like enterprise businesses, they need to understand like how is this moving the needle and why does having analytical decision making cost money but also drive value, and what are the things that we're trying to prove or disprove through this analytics to either grow the top line or impact the bottom line. I think the hardest part for me is focusing on high impact problems. I think organizations often say, who's got the loudest voice and let's go solve that problem. And instead, spending a little more time looking at what are the problems we have, how can data solve those problems, and which problems should we go after first. Some organizations like to go after kind of quick wins or easy wins. Some like to go after their biggest problems. I think it's important to focus on the highest impact. And sometimes those can be quick wins. Some of those times those can be longer. You'd love it if it could kind of meet in the middle. And then just embedded analytics in daily operations. So I just like looking at things of like, how long am I spending on certain tasks, activities, the frequency, the velocity, and is that having a material impact? And I think those sort of simple kind of anecdotes and insights really help you trying to figure out like, what do we automate? What do we remove? What do we sort of offshore? Do we have the right resource at the right rate, doing the right task at the right time? In conclusion, the journey towards analytic maturity is no longer optional, but a strategic imperative for private equity firms and their portfolio companies. By embracing a systematic approach to data, from foundational reporting to advanced prescriptive insights, organizations can unlock unparalleled value, mitigate risks, and significantly enhance their market attractiveness. As the competitive landscape continues to evolve, those who champion analytics as a core driver of decision-making and operational excellence will undoubtedly be best positioned for sustained growth and superior returns. That wraps it up for the episode. Where to go from here? Don't forget to check out the Sprint-2-Value ebook. I've got it linked on LinkedIn. Check out the rest of the mini-series on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And if you've got questions on data analytics, please message me, and I will connect you to Mel Walker, who's on my team that can walk you through this sort of framework and thinking better than I can. In terms of online, where we can connect, so you can check me out or book time with me on Calendly. You can direct message me on LinkedIn or X. And like I said, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, wherever. And look forward to catching you on Wednesday on the Digital Deep Dive show as we talk about AI and HubSpot. For tuning in.